To create a box plot, you will use your StatCrunch program. You will go to Graphics, and there is a box plot option. From there, you select your columns. Our column is going to be minutes, so you will click on that. For box plot, though, I would highly recommend in this next menu, instead of using the default options, I would recommend using the fences to identify outliers and to draw the box horizontally. I prefer to look at a horizontal box plot. It's easier to see the range, easier to see the spread of the data, and use the fences to identify outliers. You want to know if they consider a point to be an outlier, and they will use your IQR rule, the 1.5 times IQR, to determine if it's outside of that range. If it's more than or less than 1.5 times our interquartile range, then it will identify it as an outlier, and it will demonstrate that on the graph. So click Next. We can use defaults on the rest of this. Oops, excuse me. And then click on Create Graph. Now you can see our box plot here. Our base point here, this little point at the very end, is our min. The beginning of our box is going to be our quartile 1. This middle line is our median at about 20. That's our median. Our third line, our end of our box, is going to be our quartile 3, about 30 minutes. And if you notice, we have a huge line before we get to our max of 60. So our interquartile range will be somewhere probably about 30 minus 10. So our interquartile range is about 20. So make sure when you put these graphs in that you describe them accordingly. Explain our median looks like it's approximately here. This one, our box is pretty symmetric. If you look, the median's right down the middle. So that tells me my data is probably fairly normal, but we do have a long tail to the right over here. So that may affect our graph as well.